This morning, a New Mexico truck stop is at the center of a Ponzi scheme investigation. Cops say the two owners of the Savoy truck stop in Deming, along with a worker, defrauded investors. Investigators say the scheme started back in 2009 when the men put ads in the LA Times offering business opportunities to invest in the truck stop. Now, 3 investors bought in, paying $100,000 each. Detectives say the owners duped several more investors out of $5.5 million. The state has now ordered them to pay out $375,000, some of which will go back to some of the investors. The state of New Mexico's Investment Council is shifting investments. Only this time, it could be considered the biggest asset relocation effort in the entire U.S. Listen up. New Mexico Business Weekly is reporting that the state investment officer, who manages $15.2 billion in state funds, is shifting $7 billion to other investments and investment companies. Now, the article reports that the state investment officer, who was in Albuquerque yesterday, spoke about the alleged pay-to-play schemes that plagued the agency during the administration under former Governor Bill Richardson.
New for you this morning, we should get a look at the new Paseo del Norte and I-25 interchange, or what could be that, because Governor Susana Martinez and Mayor R.J. Berry are set to unveil the design today. Voters still have to approve this project. The mayor and governor are hoping that they will. It's supposed to cost $350 million. It's supposed to make traffic go better during rush hour. It'll also connect bicycle and walking paths all across I-25. Well, the man who beat up another inmate at the Metro Detention Center so badly he was left with brain damage should get sentenced today. Investigators say that Kaula Kaoli and another inmate nearly beat Avery Hadley to death back in 2009. Both were charged with attempted murder. This week, Bernalillo County had to pay out more than $2 million to Hadley, partially because a guard did nothing to stop the fights. This morning, we now know what caused an inmate to spend an extra 8 months in prison here in New Mexico. It is human error. Cheryl Winnings was supposed to get out of prison back in November for violating her probation, but didn't go free until just last weekend. The Corrections Department found that mistake while it was doing a big audit after discovering that a serial burglar got out 2.5 years early. The Corrections Department is still going through all of the inmates' records.
Today begins the prison sentence for a former corrections officer who was sentenced for possession of child porn. 27-year-old Dwayne Chavez was working as a prison transport officer back in March when police found sexually explicit pictures of children on his computer. He'll spend 3 years in prison and will have to register as a sex offender. And this morning, Eddy County detectives are with the U.S. Marshals to make sure registered sex offenders in the area are indeed living where they are supposed to be living, and they are going door to door to do checking.
If anything, for their own protection too, if they're accused of being somewhere where they're not, and or if we need to get a hold of them for whatever reason.
So far, they've confirmed these 2 people right here, the convicted sex offenders, are missing. 44-year-old Tommy Job and 52-year-old George Hancock. Both of these guys were convicted of raping children.
This morning, it is quite possible that federal agents and Albuquerque police could arrest more people in a big drug raid. Yesterday, they busted a number of homes and businesses where they say people were selling dangerous synthetic drugs. These are called spice and bath salts. Agents arrested at least 4 people in these raids so far. It sounds a little too good to be true. A sheriff's office giving out free Visa gift cards, and it turns out, yep, it is. Some people are getting an email offering a $1,000 gift card thanks to the Lee County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff says this is not from him or his people, but rather an email address based in the United Kingdom. If you get the email, please call the sheriff's office.
This morning, it appears the movie theater shooting in Colorado is having a ripple effect right here in Albuquerque. Gun shop owners tell us they are seeing a rise in gun and ammo sales. The general manager at Calibers in Albuquerque says they have seen a 25% increase in sales since Saturday. And New Mexico has seen more than 30% of a spike in people signing up for concealed carry classes since last Friday's shooting.
The biggest reason, personal defense, over the last few days has been what people are wanting and what people are asking about.
Completing the classes also allow gun holders to legally conceal and carry a weapon after getting a permit, except in places that restrict guns under state law, like private businesses and maybe many movie theaters do have the option of prohibiting guns.